Yeah, well, the COVID, of course, has done some damage on the world stage for us, Baz. Obviously, we know the Olympic Games are 2020 this year, and the Paralympic Games were going as well, so they've been all pushed, and there's probably still a question mark, really, whether it'll happen in 2021. But our next guest, Darren Hicks, a Paralympic cyclist, made an absolute star, got a world record waiting at the moment, 2 world champs to his record. Appreciate you coming in, mate.
My pleasure, thanks.
Drive in or ride in?
We drove in, mate. Trained this morning, so.
Yeah, okay, mate. You didn't come in.
Asked him if he drove or rode in here today.
Yeah.
What happened? Did you come in by a car?
Yeah, I did 3.5 hours this morning, so.
Come on, mate.
3.5 hours.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, just before, and we'll get serious in a minute, we'll come back to the Olympic Games, mate, and your world record and your 2 world championships and all that. You said 3.5 hours this morning. So that's on the bike. You're on the bike or for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
What distance are you riding in just that 3.5 hours today?
85 k's, but I was doing hill efforts, so I did 1.5 k's of vertical climbing as well in there. So
now, when you talk about hill efforts, I don't know if you ever tried to ride up the hills here, mate, and these blokes come zipping by you like they got a motor on their car, which really ticks you off at the time. What do you reckon your average speed is going up?
Depends on the hill, but generally, so like Norton Summit, stuff like that, is about 20 k an hour.
It's going up the hill, mate. I had a car once that couldn't go up that quick.
Exactly.
Mate, you're training. Let's talk about the Olympic Games, mate, because you peaked to be ready to go 2020, and then suddenly Tokyo's pulled almost like the rug from under your feet, and we've seen a couple of athletes say, that's it, they're done, they can't go on to 2021. What's been your mind shift through that period to now?
I think I'm lucky that this would have been my first Paralympics, so the excitement and everything involved with that for me is still really high. So I'm all good to push through till 2021. But it also worked out kind of well, because in December last year I had a pretty big crash actually. So coming into the start of 2020, I wasn't in my best form. So give myself the extra year in a way kind of helps me get to where I would have liked to have been this year. So a couple of positives in a way.
Yeah. Did the accident put you on a bike, or were you a bike person prior to the accident?
Always bikes, but BMX, never the road or the track stuff. So I dabbled in it very lightly when I was about 18 and didn't enjoy it because there wasn't jumps and stuff like that. So went back to BMX and I can't ride mountain bikes or BMX anymore. So the road and the track was the easy option.
Mate, we're talking about before you came on air, Darren, you started your rehab on the bike, and that perhaps is what put you on the path to where you are now. And you do road and track, which some of the cyclists either do road or track. You're doing both.
Yeah.
You were just telling us a story before we had to get you on. Your first race that you went to.
Yeah.
How was your time for that one?
It was my first ever race as a para. And back then I actually rode with a prosthetic leg, whereas at the moment I don't ride with one at all. But either way, my first race, I'm pretty sure I lost by 53 or 57 minutes. I got lapped by the leaders as I was starting my last lap, and then I made all the volunteers and the flag staff at the finish line wait for me for 53 minutes.
And the next one?
Next one was about 45 minutes. And then, a week later, I quit.
While the winner is actually home having a steak, you are still zooming around.
So then, mate, what shifts you then to go, you know what, I'm going to become a Paralympian here? Because you go, I've quit, I'm not going back to it. And then all of a sudden we're going, got a world record waiting to be ratified. I've been to 2 world champs. I'm about to become an Olympian. Well, you are an Olympian, but about to go to Olympics.
Yeah.
What changed?
I met a coach, actually. So one of the guys that beat me that day is actually a paracycling coach as well. So I went out to the track nationals, which were about 5 months later after that first race, just to have a look and I had a chat to Loza Shaw, and he simply just said, saw your race, why'd you quit? Or why'd you stop? And I said, I got flogged and that's not what I'm in sport for. And he said, I've got a couple of ideas. Would you be interested to have a chat and maybe look at changing a few things up? And one of those was taking away the prosthetic leg. I said, sure, I don't know if it's going to do any good, but we'll give it a go. And it's probably 4 or 5 months later, I went from 53 minutes down to 1:20 at my next nationals. And
that's a massive jump. That's a massive gap.
Yeah, I mean, he worked me really hard for that sort of 3 or 4 month period. I think I lost about 8 or 9 kilos and went from riding 3 or 4 times a week to riding probably twice a day. So it was a lot of hard work in that first 6 months, but very well worth it to see such a huge gain. And just kind of realised that I enjoyed the hard work, I enjoyed being competitive, and I figured, let's give it another year, and then a year rolled on and a year rolled on, and here we are now.
How old are you now, Darren? What are you now?
I'm 36.
Oh, plenty of time. Hey, mate,
that's right.
if you go to the Olympics, you've got the world record that you said before is waiting to be ratified, but we know that's going to happen. You've had a really good run at the world titles. What's your expectation of yourself at the games if they go ahead in 2021?
I'd like to break my own world record again on the track. That would be the big goal initially, and then I think road time trial is still my pet event. So I believe I can win both. As long as training keeps going the way it's going, stay healthy, all those kind of things, then I feel like at least ride a good race, if not ride a world record, and then see what the road time trial throws our way.
Now, mate, you're a Happy Valley boy. I want you to be careful on the bike, mate, because my wife is from Happy Valley and she drives, okay? Not very well.
What car do you drive?
Keep an eye out for the white Hyundai i30. When you see it,
all right.
Scarper, get off the road.
Hey, Darren, I know you're a Darwin boy. You're there till you're about 20. I mean, obviously the climate down here is a lot cooler. Do you ever think that getting back up there for your training, I'm not sure how the partner would feel about it in the dog, mate, but do you ever feel that would be a better training ground for you, or are we better here because of the velodrome and the setup?
Velodrome's definitely helpful, but it's only sort of half of what I do, so it's a good sort of half, if not 2/3 of the year really isn't based around the velodrome. I can't wait to get back to Darwin.
Yeah, the heat would be good.
Well, apart from that, there's actually, at all the events that I've been through, there's never been a territory in para. So I really want to go home and investigate why, because I'm sure there's plenty of amputees, there's plenty of kids with cerebral palsy, acquired brain injuries, all the different things that para sport, incorporates. I'm sure there's people there, but no one seems to come to any events. So I'm keen to find out why and find the first one.
Fantastic.
Mate, before we let you go, you said you haven't been an Olympian yet, so you want to get to the Olympics. How difficult, when there's still an uncertainty about 2021, or do you just push that to a side and you go, I'm on this track and I'm staying on it?
We're still training to race. Paralympics is the biggest race of every 4 years, but there's still races in between. There's still records to be broken. There's still training to be done. So I sort of just look at it as it's still day by day. It was always going to be day by day until the Paralympics. So just keep working that way and keep working hard and keep pushing forward all that.
I'm sure we're going to catch up with you in the next few months, mate, to see how your progress is going. And that's solid advice, mate. I'd stay off the road at Happy Valley. Not only does his wife drive, he drives as well, mate. So it's a pretty nasty and tricky road.
Keep an eye out.
Appreciate you coming in. Stay with us.
Thanks, boys.
A bit more to come on the show.